without further ado, will you all stand and give my pastor, my spiritual father, my leader a great big hand as he comes forward.
Thank you, Pastor. Everybody, you might be seated. What a mighty God we serve. What an honor it is to be here. And look, by judging the crowd, I had a pair of slacks hanging up to wear with my jacket and a pair of jeans hanging up to wear with my jacket. I should have put the jeans on. God bless every one of you. It is an honor to speak to you and to come before you for a few minutes. The pastor was introduced me as an expert. I've never been called that before, but I'm honored to be given such a wonderful introduction or presentation, because you know me and I know most of you. My wife Pam is with me, and I'm grateful to have her with me. And this afternoon, one of our members who was in banking, we changed their dedication to this date, and I didn't want to have them to change it again. And your pastor asked me to come. We were talking Tuesday, and I was unaware of that appointment. I really do love him because I can think of only two people off the top of my head. Actually, I was trying to think of it all the way up over here. Who could have gotten me to do what I did this morning, because it was this morning. And the two people is Bishop Leroy Jackson Wood and Pastor Wilbur Nichols, because I was at the abortion clinic this morning, and that's sacrosanct time for me. I don't cut that time short. Every Saturday, if I'm not traveling, between 9 and 11, we're at a clinic fighting for the lives of the unborn. There is genocide taking place in this country, and 2,000 of us die in America every day in abortion clinics across this country. I was just in a meeting the other day, and you saw it in the news in Southeast Raleigh, where everybody was all riled up about the young man who was shot by the police. Initially, the report was they were shot 7 times in the back. Latest report was they were shot multiple times in the chest, in the front. I don't know, I wasn't there, but I was quite moved and was with the people, went to a meeting with the multitude of people who were moved about the death of this one man. And while sitting there listening at people talk, I thought to myself, man, with this riled about the death of this one man, which is tragic, but it's hard to get African Americans to get riled about the fact that 2,000 of us, almost 2,000 of us, die per day in the clinics. And if current trends continue, right now we are reproducing in this country. We are not reproducing at replacement levels. So the Klan doesn't have to do anything. The racist doesn't have to do anything. We don't need any new diseases. We don't need to do anything. And if current trends continue, we won't be here in a matter of years. So it is so important that we pray that the Lord will get us to see this. And you should see the response of African Americans when they walk in. And I say to them, I thought that Black lives and Black people look at me and keep going in there to exterminate that Black life. And the white escorts look at us and they laugh at us. And they call us judges and that kind of thing. And I say to them, we're not the judges. Mom, you're the one who judged. Matter of fact, you're judge, jury, and executioner. You determine that your baby who is in you is not worthy to live. We're here to say, let the baby live. And God gave us inroads today, and it's interesting, I've been taped twice today what happened down there when they were taping it probably won't happen here. When I begin to talk about what is it when people do business and you post online reviews?
Mhm.
They put a tape recorder, hung a tape recorder in a tree, and that's designed to intimidate us. Even when they tape me, I hear them say, "This is Bishop Patrick L. Woodsey." So what I do is I take the shades off and my hat off, and I let them know it is me, because I'm not incognito. I fight for the life of the unborn, and I don't fight in disguise. I'm proud. If I kill them, it's a worthy cause, and when I stand before my Lord will reward me for that. But as I began to talk to them about their reviews, the multitude of people, black people, that they mangled as they ripped them open, have to rush people to the hospital, women bleeding, all kinds. And these reviews aren't written from members of the upper room. These reviews come from their customers. The lady got up and turned her camera off, Pastor. She turned her camera off. And I said, "Why not keep taping me?" But we had someone on our side taping me. I said, "Keep taping me. I want to talk about their reviews." It's an honor to talk to you because you are leaders in this great church. I have such respect for Victorious Praise for multiple reasons. First reason I have respect for this great church is because before you met them, I know the pastor and I know his wife. I know his sister. I knew them from when they served at the upper room. And I have a major problem with anybody who believes in leadership or begins to believe in giving or begins to believe in any of this stuff once they're in the seat, but they didn't believe it when it was someone else. I can't tell you how many pastors who, when they were at the upper room, they built their church teaching against giving. Then, pastor, they started a church and found out that you do have to have revenue to operate. And guess who they called to come in and teach them about giving? Me. But they started that church talking against me. And their selling point was, come on over here because you don't have to pay your tithe and give your offerings over here. And that's wonderful until you find out that they don't give churches buildings. They don't give us chairs. They don't give us pews. They don't give us electricity. People are under the impression, pastor, that we don't pay tax. They think that when we buy cameras and stuff and all this stuff, that the organization doesn't have to pay taxes on things. And it's preachers, I found out. And one time I was paying tax, they were getting me twice. Like I was self-employed and employed. And I called on the name of the Lord. Really sticking it to me. Your pastor, when he and his wife served in the church, they were chief supporters, hard workers. The things that he talks to you about are true. His history is what it is. First Lady Grace and Pastor Nichols don't have to be historical revisionists in order to talk about the way that they served in the church. And I am proud of them, and that gives me a special affinity for this church and for you. I don't pastor you. I don't know most of you. Many of you I see when I come. And then some of you I see when the pastor comes to us. And many of the members at Victorious Praise, when I see you on the street, you always let me know. I'm a member of Victorious Praise. Pastor Nichols is my pastor. And it's just a good fellowship. You are incredibly important to the vision that the pastor has. I want to read a passage to you, and I want you to take this to heart because it's going to aid you in your thinking with regard to the way that you must respond to him to help him carry out the work of the Lord. The Apostle Paul writes to the church at Philippi, Philippians chapter 2. I guess I'll just read verse 18 through 20. He says, "For the same cause also do ye joy and rejoice with me." Well, let's go to 16. holding forth the word of life, that I may rejoice in the day of Christ, that I may not run in vain, neither labor in vain. Yea, and if I be offered upon the sacrifice, that is, if I'm poured out, and what he's describing there is a drink offering. And the drink offering is when you just pour it out on the altar. And sometimes in doing ministry work, you literally have nothing else left, because ministry and church work is hard work. Yes. And there are times when you feel literally poured out. There are times when I feel, Lord, I cannot give anymore. I can't take anymore. I've been doing a lot of traveling of late in New Haven, Connecticut. I've been out in Nebraska doing the district meeting and things like that. And I was just saying, Lord, if I can just make it till Monday, Lord, I'm going to go to the movies. I'm going to sit up in there Monday all day long. And got word yesterday that one of the members died, and I think they want to have the funeral Monday. I have a whole lot of things scheduled for Tuesday and Wednesday, so here we go again. So it's just the nature of what we do. It's hard work. He says, if I'm offered upon the sacrifice, and he's also referencing, even if he's killed, sacrifice and service of your faith. He says, if I lose everything in my service of your faith, he says, I joy, listen leaders, and rejoice with you all. Isn't that amazing? Amen. I joy and rejoice with you all. For the same cause also do you joy and rejoice with me. It's hard work, but we got to do it. Victorious praise matters. Applause go in there. The furtherance of victorious praise, the continuance of victorious praise, the heavy lifting that victorious praise does, it matters. He says, but I trust, listen to this, and I want you to ask yourself if verse 19 applies to you. Because verse 19 is what I want to talk to you about for a few minutes. But I trust in the Lord Jesus to send Timothy shortly unto you, that I also may be of good comfort when I know your state. Verse 20, now listen to this. For I have no man like-minded who naturally care for your state. For all seek their own and not the things which are Christ. Jesus Christ. I want to talk to you about the importance of being Timothy's, because you're the leadership. You're the supporters. You are the movers and the shakers of the ministry. You're the influencers of this church. The pastor has ultimate influence. Then there's the first lady, and there's the board. But people who are assigned, everybody who's assigned a task in the church, anyone who's given honor is also endorsed. Anyone who is endorsed is given influence. The question is, how do you use it? The question is, what do we do with it? The question is, how like-minded is the person who has the influence with the pastor? My wife told me something the other day, and Pam is a blessing to me on so many levels. I find her to be an incredibly wise woman, and there are things that she say off the cuff that I think to myself. Sometimes I mention it to her, sometimes I don't. I'm like, man, that's a teaching. I wonder if she knows how deep what she just said is. She told me one day, she said, honey, I noticed that, and she told me that she did this maybe a year after it was done. She said on Sundays, she would always tip out just a little early, because I like to eat dinner, Sunday dinner, at home. I love my wife's cooking. I prefer her cooking. wasn't always that way. When I first married her, I preferred her mother's cooking than my mom's cooking. But I would rather eat Pam's cooking. I've dined in some pretty nice places, but I haven't been anywhere where I would, if I had to choose between their cooking and her cooking, I would rather have her cooking any day. Sometimes that gets her in trouble because sometimes she don't want to cook. She wants, like last night, I called and I said, "Baby, what are we going to eat?" She said, I'm getting ready to call you and ask you the same thing. So we went out to the restaurant. But on Sundays, she always has the atmosphere the way that I like. The grandkids come over now, and that's a joy. But for a long time, just me and her, and the food would be ready. Oh, when I come in, she's preparing, And, I mean, for the married guys, that's something. That's wonderful all in itself. You walk in, your wife, you see that cooking. And sometimes she cooked the way you like her to dress while she's cooking. Atmosphere is all right. And I'm like, my God, hell, it must be like this. And so, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. And I like quiet. You wouldn't know this. I'm just the opposite at home as I am in public. If you were at my house when I'm at home, if you didn't know that I was there, a lot of times you wouldn't know that I'm there. I'm a very quiet person. I'm my own best company. I'm a recluse. I enjoy silence and maybe like reading or listening to new music or something. And she knows how I like things. And so she keeps the house quiet, but grandbaby noise is not noise. You want to hear your grandkids. And then after they get noisy, too noisy, then it's about time But she told me that she noticed something. She noticed that when she would get up and tip out early to go fix dinner for her husband, she noticed the other preachers' wives, ministers' wives, elders' wives, leaders' wives, beginning to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So, never given the benediction yet, never finished service. And there's these ladies getting up, walking out. Well, they were following her lead. Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, she noticed, but I didn't. I hadn't noticed. And what she did was, she stopped doing that. Mm-hmm. And when she stopped doing that, they stopped. Leadership is first and foremost what you do. You can talk leadership all day long, but people pay more attention to what you do than they do what you say. Mm-hmm. She knew that she was doing something. They love the Lord. They're saved, but they watched what she was doing, and they began to do it. She stopped. They stopped. You wield influence in the church. If you behave in a certain way, those who you have influence in will behave a certain way. Absolutely. Last Tuesday night, the bishop came to preach in the district meetings. The Lord, last Thursday before last, I had to fly to New Haven. What was I originally? I flew into New Haven, but I was scheduled to be in Hartford. Flew into, had to preach 2 nights up there, a men's conference, and flew into New Haven, and I don't know what happened. They just eliminated my seat when we did the plane connection. They downgraded the plane, but you would think if the Lord blessed you and you're in first class, if they downgrade the plane, first class people get a seat. But everybody got a seat but me. Unless you think it was a race thing, I had my musician Rocky flying with me in first class beside me. I like, he's good travel companion, but it's just me and him. And they gave him a seat. He had a seat, but they kicked me off the plane. They put me on the plane last after everybody was seated. So he called me. I get off the plane. He called me and he asked me, well, what do I do? I said, you fly, you go on up there. And I'll figure out how I'm going to get there. And you get the bags. After you unpack your room, you take my bag and unpack my bag, and I'll meet you there. And I thought to myself, if I don't get there, hey, Rocky, you're it. You got to preach leadership that first time. And he's a good preacher. He could have stood in for me. And so I got in time to just land, shower. We didn't even have time to stop and eat. Thank God for that sanctified restaurant called Popeye. God touched that man. Or woman, whoever invented it. And, I like the spicy eggs. You want mine? Why would you go to Popeyes to get mine? You go to KFC. You want spicy. Matter of fact, today, check it out if you haven't been. Get one of them biscuits, give them that great jelly, pipe the spicy chicken, and eat the biscuit. I'm telling you, you're in heaven. And I promised the pastor that I would not drop anything in the backseat of the car, and I didn't. So we preached there, and then preached Friday night, and flew back in, preached Sunday morning at the upper room, and then came here Sunday night for the district tour. And I was so glad to see all of you. And for those of you who I didn't see, I missed you. And you know whether or not I saw you. So, but while I flew out to, I had to leave after Monday night and go to Nebraska. After I finished preaching, now I'm talking about being like-minded, having the leader's spirit, okay? I finished preaching in Nebraska, and I'm laying in the bed at the double tree. Got to bed, and I got just a few hours before we had to get up and catch the flight. And the Lord brings my bishop before me. I can see him as clearly as I can see you. And the Lord said to me, I want you to bless him. I want you to bless him real good. The Lord even told me how much money he wanted Pam and I to give him. Okay? I'm talking about being like-minded and being in tune with you. Because I'm a big believer that when you're in tune and in touch with your leader, you can feel your leader. So you don't want so much distance to come between you and your pastor. When you are north on an issue and your pastor is south, there's too much distance between you. Because the truth is, if your pastor is north, you should be north. If your pastor is south, you should be south. This business about, he's a man like I am, and I got my own mind, I think for myself. Well, nobody disputes that, but you ought to discipline your thinking to be tuned to the leader. Notice the word Paul used. He used the word like-minded. Well, when you deal with like-minded, mind thinking, so it incorporates the way we think. And when you're close to a person, especially in the things of God, you can feel that individual. You can feel that person. And I went to sleep, I woke up, and he was just on my heart. He came, and we did what the Lord set out, gave us to do. It was a tremendous blessing to him. Probably the largest offering that any district has raised a jurisdictional bishop in the history of Greater North Carolina. We doubled what we did last year, and I felt so good about it. But when I really felt good about it was when I got home and learned that his wife had said to my wife, and his daughter said to my wife, this is the first time he was able to go out this year to preach at any district meeting. He's been at home recuperating. I thought he was back out on the road. And he said the first time that he stood to preach since he all but died. The first time that he stood to preach was tonight. And he's been in the house. And I rejoiced in my spirit because I felt my leader. I've shared this with our leaders because how I respond to him it affects how they respond to me. How you respond to your leader affects how the people that you're over, that you have influence with, respond to you. Leadership is not in a vacuum. Everybody's looking at everyone else. Everybody is gauging how we respond up the ladder.
Absolutely.
I felt him. God said, bless him. And I did it. And I can give other examples of when he has called me. I'll never forget, I had a preaching engagement. There was a bishop who wanted me to come and to preach a meeting for him. And Bishop, the meeting, this guy, he wanted me to come during our meeting. And I'll be honest with you, I wanted to go. I had always wanted to go. I love going to preach in Texas. Because if you know anything about preaching, there's two places that's famous for having preachers. And these preachers, they can preach from these areas. And if you don't believe it, just ask them. One is Texas. Texas produced preachers. And the other is Detroit. Michigan, you know, Michigan preachers. They got all the music. You know, you get the Winans and all of them. You get Motown. And then the preachers. And then these Texas preachers, you know, if you go preaching, you preach in Texas and you do good, and you've done well. So he wanted me to come to Houston. But the problem is, it was scheduled at the same time that our meeting was. So I called Bishop Willard. I didn't want to ask him. And I said to him, here's what I did. I prepared my heart that if it is no, now listen to this, if it is no, I'm going to treat his no emotionally like it's yes. I'm going to get just as excited. I'm conditioning my mind. I'm going to get just as excited if he says no. And you may be thinking, well, man, you're an ordained pastor, you superintendent, you have to ask him. Well, I'm in his cabinet. I'm an administrative assistant. I'm in his cabinet. And the meeting was on. So if I'm a cabinet member, you judge it. If you're a cabinet member, would you want your cabinet member in place, or would you want your cabinet member away? You don't want your cabinet member right there. So I called him. I talked to him about what was going on. His response was, well, this is what I had planned. I'll leave that up to you. But if you go, don't tell anyone. Just go and come back. But I'll leave that up. I said, thank you, sir. I'll call him and tell him that I'm not coming. I won't be there. Why? Because what I needed from my leader to take the appointment, I needed a yes. In my heart, I'm a grown man. I knew it was up to me. I mean, I could do it. It wouldn't put me out of church. You know, I'm 54 now. I was 50 years old then. I could do it, no problem. I've been on my own since I borrowed $20 from my mama when I was 19, and I paid her back, and I've been paying for her ever since. I paid my mama's house payment, my mama's cars, I buy them. But when they need tires, I put tires, whatever she needs, and give her a stipend every month. So I'm grown. Way grown. Praise the Lord. Amen. And you know what? I'm glad to do it.
Yes.
I'm glad that I'm able. Praise the Lord. Amen.
Yes.
And I thank God to be able to bless her, because she gave birth to me. Little poor woman on the wrong side of the tracks, single parent. Had 4 boys and raised us the best she could, but she told me about Jesus. So how do you do that? How do you do that? So I knew that I could go, but I didn't get a yes. I didn't go. And we had one of the greatest meetings. And then I told you, Pastor, about this. Then a year or so later, they wanted me so bad, they shifted their workers' meeting. They did. And I went there and I preached, and we had great service. But I'm going to tell you, We had a mighty move of God. It was a great service. I was grateful for the opportunity. But when I got there, I said, Lord, I'm glad I didn't mess up with my bishop to be here. It's not worth it. When you have your leader's spirit, you have his mind. And if you do not have his spirit, you want to pray for that. You want to pray that God gives you the ability to think like he thinks. He's going to model in front of you how to follow leadership. You reflect this in the church. There's a saying that we have, in every church there's a nut, and every nut has influence.
That's right.
There's a weird person in every church, and somebody listens to even the weirdest person, believe it or not. You know, you look around and Sister Crazy, she finally left the church, and you notice over there in that section, 2 or 3 went with her. Or they know how to leave and then call back. It is amazing. You know, people, black folk don't just leave.
That's right.
If you're going to leave, just leave. They don't just leave. They have to leave and call everybody they know 100 times and talk about how happy they are, where they are now. Then you leave and go with them, only to find out they were lying to you. And in many cases, you end up joining churches all over town because you have too much pride to come back and say, I was wrong. And they leave with visions of grandeur. I want to help you, pastor. Any pastor who feels that God is speaking to them, and you say this, any preacher, and pastor, this thing is on me, Pastor Nichols. I want to start a church, Pastor. The Lord is calling me, and pastor, I can't sleep. I can't. Pastor, it's on me all the time. Pastor, God is just dealing with the spirit. Just every time I turn around, and the Lord is speaking to me. That's a sign that's not God. Read in the Bible and see where God dealt with anybody that way.
You're right.
That's not how the Holy Spirit deals with him. He came to Samuel and he would speak one time at night. Samuel would get up to see. He'd go to Eli. Eli said, all right, look, after 2 nights, Eli said, the next night, if you hear this voice, just one time, Samuel said, if you hear this voice calling you, say, here am I, Lord. Amen. Read what the Lord called me. How many times? Jesus said to Zacchaeus one time, get out the tree. For this day I must abide at thy house. Make haste and come down. All this wearing you out and finally wearing you down, that's the way demons work. That's the devil. He'll give you a false sense of urgency. When it's God, your leader knows before you do.
That's right.
When it's God, it takes no convincing.
Yes.
When it's God, the Bible says, surely the Lord will do nothing except he reveal his secrets to his servants, the prophets. But the under-shepherds, the leaders in the church, who would the pastor point at if I said to him, man, I need to send your Timothy somewhere to do something on your behalf. Now, I don't want to know who Timothy is in terms of position. Because it's not always, one person can occupy the office, but I'm talking about who has the heart. I'm not Bishop Willard's biological son, but I tell you what, I'm the only man that he said to on the phone, told me just yesterday morning. He said, I always wanted children. I always wanted sons. God gave me Sandra as a daughter, but you are like, you are my son, and I could not love you more if I would have fathered you. And what's amazing to me about that is my daddy never told me, or if he did, I was too young to know, and he's dead now, that he loved me. So I never heard that from my father. Bishop Willard told me. See, who has his spirit? Who is Pastor Nichols? Let me know how much. Who is his I don't want to know who can walk like him. Not concerned about which can dress just like him. Oh man, you you got the swagger like the pastor. That's cool, but you can work on that. I want to know who has allowed God to knit their minds and hearts to Him. That if there's a need in the church, if there's a burden in the church, that burden that He has literally becomes your burden. Your Timothy may be female. Your Timothy may be male. Your Timothy may be a group of males. Your Timothy may be everyone in here. You judge. How do you respond? Timothy, unlike Barnabas, never pushed against Paul. He did what he was told. And it's amazing that if, in terms of in-house ministers, it's amazing when you read the book of Thessalonica and listen, when Paul, Timothy, when Paul gives his rundown before he is executed, it's amazing how Paul could speak for the preachers who were right, and he couldn't speak for all of them. He says, Demas have forsaken me. I don't know where he is. He says he loved this present world. He says, but I can tell you where the rest of them are. Crescens is in Galatia. Titus, Dalmatia. Only Luke is with me now. And he says, take Mark and bring him with thee, for he is profitable unto me for the ministry. And Titus have I sent to Ephesus. He says, bring the cloak that I left at Taurus. And he says, he talked about what Alexander the coppersmith did to him. But he knew where the ministers who had his spirit were, because they were where he sent them. None of them were where they just went. I want to say to you, God has blessed you with a gift. My wife and I, in ministry is always a battle. We had gone through a series of battles, and I love to tell about our battles because, one of the reasons we talk about them is the Lord has taught us how to fight in a manner where we don't show our scars. I mean, I've had preachers tell me, oh, you have problems like other preachers? I looked at him and said, more than most. That was always trying to kill me. I mean, every time I turn around, it's something. But you got to know how to carry yourself in the heat of battle. And God said, the cattle on 1,000 hills belong to me. And if I was hungry, I wouldn't tell you. There are some folk that you don't share your pain. But we had gone through a battle, and a preacher that preached out of his sin. The guy was suicidal when we met him, married on the rocks and all that kind of stuff. And we repaired the person, led him to Christ. The guy got called to preach, got ordained, worked in the ministry, and just all that kind of stuff. And then the guy does something just proved to be disloyal. And in this particular one, I wouldn't have believed that this person would have behaved this way. Had an angel came and told him. I just didn't see it. We all have blind spots, but that was mine. As a matter of fact, had an angel, 3 angels told me. I wouldn't have believed it would take the Trinity, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. And for whatever reason this time, God didn't tell me. So the thing, it didn't make me angry. It hurt me. I was hurt. My wife was hurt about it because, believe it or not, saints, we love you guys. The pastor loves you. First lady loves you. You're more than just a member. I mean, when you pray with people and feed them and pour into them and reach out to them, stuff like that, there's a connection. It's a real connection. Sometimes people just leave the church and they think they doesn't bother. They treat you as though you don't have a heart, as though it's not real. I mean, you can't do all of this together and pray together and shop together and counsel together and dance together and real bonds not be formed. And so the bonds are real. And people tell you, I'm with you for life. And life, in some cases, is tomorrow. And it's gone. And rip your heart out. And while your heart is hurting, the pastor knows that once they present them on Sunday morning, now he and Dr. Gray got to hold hand, walk up, stand there, and smile as though everything is all right. And only the Timothys know that they're hurting. Now, they're smiling just as much as you normally smile. On fire, go on and preach. The Holy Spirit fall. People get saved and everything. Everybody leaves rejoicing. The money's good. Everything is good. But only those who really have your mind know that you're ripped. And those who don't have a clue in here, you got to check yourself. You got to pray harder for the leader. And you don't entertain anybody's conversation against your leader.
Amen.
Let me tell you something you can't do. No human being can do this. You cannot allow someone to feed you garbage about a person over and over and over and it not affect you.
That's right.
God has no secret agents. The Lord's not going to send you to go to somebody's house to have roasted Pastor Will every Sunday. So you can go back and report what's being said because that will defile you.
Amen.
You can't do it. So we were hurt. We didn't tell anybody. I didn't pick up the phone and call you, Pastor. I didn't tell him.
Sure.
He called me. Said, Pastor, my wife and I, we want to take you and First Lady. And under normal circumstances, I'm always excited to hear that, but I'm like, there's part of me that says, great, but then there's another part of me that says, okay, now, this is another shoe that's going to drop, or this is another domino, what it's going to be. I know the Lord's going to see it's true, but, have you ever been to where, you just, you're not enough. You're going to rest it for a minute. The next person, you're like, something. So, he called me, but the thing about it is, he kept calling. So I said, okay, they got something they want to talk to us about. I told my wife said, well, honey, I hope it's not anything crazy. I said, no. I said, I hope it's not. I said, but they want to talk. Because what I'm doing is I'm talking about my Timothy.
Amen.
See, I want you to hear this. Don't fail to see the forest for the tree. I'm talking about Timothy. And I love to fight for the Lord, but I can be an emotional guy. And so I'm not going to get all emotional about this thing, but it moved me. So we go out, and I said, well, where do you want to go? He said, well, Grace and I, we've made reservations at Ruth Chris. Oh, we ain't going to Burke. They hadn't even built Popeyes at the time. He says, we're going out, we want to go to Ruth Chris at North Hills, if you beat us there. So we go to Ruth Chris. I said, man, okay. And we sit, and he looked at me, and he says, Grace and I, we just wanted to take you guys out to love on you. We wanted to sit and talk and love and pour into you and let you know how much you mean to us. And let me tell you what they did with the skill of a surgeon. They knitted our hearts back together in one second. They didn't call him. They didn't call her. Wife didn't call. We didn't tell what had just happened. We didn't say, man, pray for us. We just broke him. Timothy. You know why Timothy knew it? Because Timothy is like mine. Timothy took the time. What's the female version of Timothy?
That's
Timorette. I'm trying to get
Tammy.
all right. Tammy took the time to pray. And by the way, during this time now, he's pastoring over here. He's got everything going on. But he felt his lead. I know you're busy. I know you have challenges. You have your families, you have your children, you have your life. But God has called you to this. This is the path we chose. This is the life we live. And it's a good life. It's a sweet life. It's just not a lazy life. It's a life that's filled with work and challenges, but you're fortunate to be a part of a God-fearing, Bible-believing church. Do not be guilty of being the prodigal son. Everybody thinks that the point of the prodigal son is the boy who left home. But the greatest progeny, the greatest waste was the son who never left. For the story closes with him being out of fellowship. And the story closes with his dad saying to him, all this time you've been with me. Everything I have is yours. Why are you complaining that I'm celebrating your brother, my son, coming home? How do you spend that much time with your father and not be like mine? How do you spend that much time with your dad and not love your brother and his son the way dad loves? How do you do it? How do you be in leadership and not have the pastor's? I pray leadership of this church, leaders, supporters, prayer warriors, that you study your leader. I pray that you follow his lead. I pray that you take advantage of this opportunity to do something that's incredibly hard for black folk to do, and that is to work together as one man. We seem to feel that it's part of our calling, part of our maturity, to be rebellious. I pray that those whom the pastor has given renown to, he's made you someone in this congregation. The people respect you because he put his hand on you. It was the men of renown that Moses made great who turned against him. Is that amazing? There would have been nobodies in Israel, but Moses made them great. He pointed them out. Bishop Willard has been good to me. He has given me opportunities. I love serving this church. I've never missed a convocation since I grew up. Or work with me. Somebody said, well, you grew up in church. No, actually, I was a United Methodist. United Methodist. My church was Philadelphia United Methodist Church. I used to go there on Sunday. God never went. The Lord just never showed up. If he did, he never moved. I mean, you never felt anything. It was just amazing. People came up. I'm telling you, maybe in your church, the Lord didn't. And I didn't hear anything that made me want to serve the Lord till my mama told me about this holiness preacher. And I got saved, and a whole world opened to me. And the world was the kingdom of God through being manifested in the church of God in Christ. And I learned the ways of the church. And to be honest with you, it saved my life. I'd probably be in jail by now for murder or for some cause. I was on the wrong trajectory. I was on the wrong path. And I know that I would not have seen as much of the world as I have, experienced the things that I have experienced, and know good people like you. I would have never met you. Our paths would have never crossed. Because you'd have been sitting here, someone would have been talking to you, I would have been in jail. See, but because of this church, and embracing the church, and working in the church, and learning to follow leadership, even when the leadership made me angry. There's going to be time when the pastor's going to make moves that won't even make sense to you. Somebody said yes. You'll say, Lord, what is he doing, Lord? Now you know what? There's no harm in saying, Lord, what in the world is Pastor Will doing? Nothing wrong with that. Tell you where the harm come in. Can I? What the pastor's doing. You like what the pastor's doing? What's he doing? Now, that's home. That's home. Now, if you want to talk to the Lord, talk to God all day long. In Jesus' name. By yourself. You know how we can do now? We'll have a prayer meeting. I just want to get I just want to get 8 of us together because I'm not quite sure about what the pastor is doing. And we need to pray that the Lord touch our leader. God, touch our man of God. Because Lord, we don't understand what our man of God is doing, Lord. Lord, we love him, but God, we believe another spirit to come over. God, we've been here so long. Shut up. That's the devil. That's the devil. That's a double entendre. You're acting like you're praying and you're actually doing something much more risque. You are sowing seeds of discord. Especially if you hadn't asked him what he's doing. I'll tell you what you ought to ask, even if you really want to know what he's doing, before you ask God, ask him. And he'll either tell you, or you know there's some things, since you're not a shepherd, you know there's some things that are over your head. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a computer analyst. And when like when I take my car to get it serviced, the mechanic got to explain to me all the stuff that he did. I'm like, man, is it fixed? I got the money to pay you. You got to explain to me, just fix my car. Here's the money. I got to go. Because if you explain, when he finished, David said he said such things are too high for me. When he finishes, I still don't know any more about it than I knew before he told me. Because that's not my thing. I'm a preacher. Now, I know about this. I can build, I can do, I know what I can do. Well, he's the pastor. And you're in my clothes. You're never, ever, ever equal.
That's right.
You're equally human. Right? You're equally a person. Equally same. Same blood that washed your sins, washed you. In all those ways, you're equal. But in the kingdom, you're not equally positioned.
Amen. That's right.
That's right.
And the way you demonstrate your strength is you never behave like you're equal to the leader. You always acquiesce. Know when to hold your tongue. Know when to take down. That's a sign of good leadership. And when the people who are under you see you do that, they'll do the same thing to you.
Amen.
I mentioned my mom because that's leadership. Everything I've talked to you about today is leadership. I'm training my children. I'm strong. I'm strong today. I'm healthy. I'm a 54-year-old black man. I'm not on high blood pressure medicine. I don't have diabetes. I feel good. All despite that, and a pastor, stress everywhere, but I feel good. My heart rate is about what it was when I was in high school. That's a good sign.
Amen.
Amen. I don't eat pork. Not a Muslim, but I don't eat pork. I gave that up, I guess 15 years ago. I feel good. But here's what I know. If I live, I won't always be this way. Leadership. My children know what I do for my mom. My children know how I respond to my mom. My children know how I take care of my mom. If I live, if my wife lives, she does the same for hers. So now if mom was sick the other day, Daddy, honey, I'm going to see it. Do you need it? No, we got it. But, I'm praying. But here's what we both know. The day will come that you'll go from being strong, large, and in charge to old and weak. If you live. What you sow, that will be what you will reap. In leadership, you reap what you sow. You teach people how to respond to you by how you respond to your leader. And I want to encourage you to be his Timothy. Be where he can point at any of you and say, I have no one who is as like-minded. You may not even favor me. Elijah was Harry. Elisha was bald. And yet, they're known for being this dynamic too. Am I right?
Yes.
They didn't look alike, but they were alike. God used them right. God bless you. Thank you for this time. I thank God for all of you Timothys. And I pray that you will work hard to carry out whatever vision that God gives this man. And there ought to be a little competition among you. The competition should be this, that you let nobody defeat you in loving and following the leader. You can love him, but you ain't love him more than me. I tell them guys, look, you love Bishop Willie, you can be his son and all that, but you ain't gonna beat me because I'm the oldest son. I'm the first one that loved his son. And some of these sons, Christmas time roll around, I guess he ain't got but one son. Birthday roll around, I guess he don't have but one son. And I'm not talking about something that I go find in the thrift store either. Something that I would have, I go find the nicest things because I want to do something for my neighbor. Say amen.
Amen.
God bless you. Thank you for this time.